What if the single greatest advantage you could give yourself in life doesn't cost a single cent, but simply requires you to change how you open your eyes in the morning?
Wow. That is that is quite a powerful thought to start with. Welcome to Book Bites.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here.
This is the podcast where we discuss a new book every single week to help English learners improve their English. We take big ideas, we try to explain them slowly, clearly, and thoroughly so you can learn life lessons and language lessons at the same time.
And we really do break them down piece by piece.
We do. And this is a bit of a milestone for us. This is episode 10.
Episode 10. Wow.
Can you believe we've done 10 of these breakdowns?
It's a great achievement. Time really does fly when you're learning.
It really does. And today's exploration will completely transform the way you view your mornings.
I certainly hope so.
We are going to carefully walk through a practical step-by-step method to help you claim back your time. This method is designed to increase your focus and help you achieve your biggest goals in a world that is completely filled with distractions.
It is a very distracted world.
Exactly. We will take our time to understand exactly how this works step by step so you can easily apply it to your own life. We will explain the science, the psychology, and the daily habits required to make this successful.
And as we prepare to begin our discussion of the book, we want to remind you once again to use the online worksheet provided in the description box below.
Yes, please do.
It is a fantastic tool to test your understanding of the concepts we discussed today and to practice your English comprehension. We also invite you to share what you think about the morning routines we will discuss by commenting below.
We love reading those comments.
Finally, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like and share the podcast if you find it fun and useful.
Absolutely. So, where should we begin?
Well, let us begin with the obvious challenge. Waking up at 5 in the morning sounds, honestly, very unappealing to most people.
Right. It really does.
We all know that exact moment. The alarm goes off at 5 in the morning. It is pitch black outside. The room is cold. And your immediate biological instinct is to negotiate with yourself.
Just to stay under the warm covers for 5 more minutes.
Exactly. Just 5 more minutes. The book acknowledges this struggle immediately, and it uses a very interesting narrative framework to explain its lessons.
It is a story, actually.
Yes, a story. The story follows a highly successful billionaire who decides to mentor or teach 2 people, a struggling artist and an entrepreneur.
And the very first lesson the billionaire teaches them is the importance of winning the morning.
The story format makes the lessons very easy to understand. We can see the struggles of the artist and the entrepreneur, and we can, relate to them.
We definitely can. The core philosophy of this book starts with a very powerful quote from the author. It says, "To be in the top 5%, you must stop acting like the 95%.
Stop acting like the 95%.
Yes. Let us slowly think about what that really means for you and your daily life. The 95% represents the vast majority of society. We have to ask ourselves, how does the majority of society start their day?
They sleep in as late as possible.
Precisely. When the alarm rings, they press the snooze button, often multiple times. They wake up feeling tired, heavy, and completely unmotivated.
Let us paint a very detailed, vivid picture of that typical rushed morning, because it is something almost everyone has experienced.
Oh, absolutely.
You wake up exhausted. The very first thing you do while you are still lying flat in bed is reach out your hand for your mobile phone.
Right to the phone.
You open social media or you read the daily news, and the news is almost always full of bad, stressful events happening around the world.
It is never good news.
Never. Immediately, before you have even stood up, your mind is filled with worry and anxiety. Then you look at the clock and realize you are late.
The panic sets in.
You jump out of bed. You rush to get dressed, perhaps putting on clothes that are wrinkled because you did not plan ahead. You rush into the kitchen to eat a quick, unhealthy breakfast, or maybe you skip breakfast entirely.
Which is terrible for your energy.
You run out the door. You start the entire day in a state of extreme stress, panic, and reaction. You are simply reacting to the demands of the world instead of controlling your own day.
That is an incredibly accurate description of how the 95% of people live. It is a life of constant reaction.
Yeah.
But the 5%, the highly successful people, the history makers, they do the exact opposite.
They wake up at 5 in the morning.
They do. And there's a very real biological reason why this specific time is so powerful. It is not just about having more time. It is about the quality of your brain at that specific hour.
The quality of the brain.
Yes. The book explains a scientific concept called transient hypofrontality. Let us slowly explain this term, as it is central to the entire philosophy of the book.
Transient hypofrontality. It sounds very complex.
It does, but we can break it down. The word transient simply means temporary. It refers to a state that only lasts for a short period of time.
Okay, temporary.
Hypo means less or reduced, and frontality refers to the prefrontal cortex of your brain.
Ah, the prefrontal cortex. The book uses this term, and it sounds incredibly intimidating, but it is actually a very simple biological process.
Very simple.
The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that handles complex thinking. It is responsible for logic, for analyzing situations, and very importantly, it is the exact part of the brain that creates stress and worry.
It is the worry center.
Yes, it is that constant voice in your head that overthinks everything, worries about the future, and analyzes every small mistake you made in the past.
Precisely. So when we put those words together, transient hypofrontality means that at 5 in the morning, this analyzing, stressing part of your brain takes a temporary vacation.
A temporary vacation.
It is essentially shut down or quieted. Think of your brain like a very busy office building. During the day, the office is full of people shouting, phones ringing, and managers demanding reports.
A very chaotic office.
Very chaotic. And that loud manager is your prefrontal cortex. But at 5 in the morning, the manager has not arrived at the office yet. The building is completely silent.
The rest of the world is asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is no noise outside. There are no demands on your attention. In this beautiful, quiet period, your fears, your anxieties, and your overthinking are drastically reduced. Your brain is perfectly calm, open, and ready to focus.
And what is fascinating is that the brain is not just calm, it is actually producing a very special combination of chemicals.
A chemical cocktail.
Yes. The absolute peace of the early morning triggers your biology to release specific neurotransmitters. Two of the most important ones mentioned in the book are dopamine and serotonin.
We hear those words often.
We do, but what do they actually do in this context? Dopamine is often called the reward chemical. It is the chemical that gives you drive, motivation, and the energy to pursue your goals.
It makes you want to get things done.
Exactly. Serotonin, on the other hand, is a chemical that boosts your mood and creates a deep, stabilizing sense of calm and well-being.
So when you wake up at 5 in the morning and you enter that quiet environment, your brain is flooded with this exact chemical cocktail.
Dopamine and serotonin.
Yes. You have dopamine providing you with high motivation, and you have serotonin providing you with calm peace. You feel good, you feel driven, and you are not stressed. This is the optimal biological state for human performance.
You cannot manufacture this state easily at 2 in the afternoon when your phone is ringing and your inbox is full.
No, you absolutely cannot. But there's another major reason why the early morning is so crucial, and it has to do with a concept called cognitive bandwidth.
Cognitive bandwidth. This is a vital concept to understand. Let us think of daily cognitive bandwidth like a glass of fresh water.
A glass of water.
Every single person wakes up with a limited amount of mental energy, a limited amount of focus, and a limited amount of willpower each day. You only have a certain amount of water in that glass to use.
And the book shares a very surprising and honestly alarming statistic about how we use that water.
What is the statistic?
The average person checks their mobile phone 250 times a day.
250 times.
Imagine that behavior.
Right.
Every single time you look at a notification, every time you read a short email, every time you shift your attention away from your work to look at a screen, you take a small sip from that glass of water.
You drain a little bit of your cognitive bandwidth.
Yes, sip by sip.
By noon, if you are checking your phone constantly and reacting to every interruption, that glass is bone dry.
Completely empty.
You have no mental energy left. This constant shifting of attention is exhausting for the brain. It is exactly why so many people feel completely drained, tired, and uncreative by lunchtime.
They have spent all their cognitive bandwidth on small, unimportant distractions.
This is where the magic of the early morning truly becomes visible. Waking up at 5 in the morning provides an environment that is completely free of interruptions.
Completely free, no one is calling you.
No one is emailing you. No one is asking you for favors. You have your full, complete glass of water, your entire mental battery available to focus strictly on yourself and your most important tasks.
However, waking up at 5 in the morning is only useful if you know exactly what to do at that time.
That is a very important point.
If you wake up early and simply turn on the television, or if you wake up early and immediately start scrolling through your phone, you will not see any of these benefits.
You will just be wasting the water.
Exactly. You will simply be tired and distracted earlier in the day.
To solve this, the book introduces a very specific, highly structured routine for this time. It is called the victory hour.
The victory hour. It sounds very triumphant.
It is. The victory hour lasts from 5 in the morning until 6 in the morning. And this hour is divided into three very precise parts, which the author calls the 20-20-20 formula. The 20-20-20 formula, this breaks the victory hour into three 20-minute pockets of time. Let us look very carefully at the first pocket.
Okay, the first pocket.
From 5 in the morning to 5:20 in the morning, your focus is entirely on one single word: move.
Move.
You must engage in intense physical movement right out of bed. This is not the time for a slow, gentle walk around the neighborhood. This is not the time for light, easy stretching.
It needs to be intense.
Yes, this is the time to get your heart rate up significantly. You could do vigorous jumping jacks, intense bodyweight exercises, or running. The goal is simple, but absolutely necessary for the biological chemistry to work. You must sweat.
Sweating is the absolute key to this first 20-minute pocket. It's easy to wonder why sweating is so important first thing in the morning. Why not just read a book first?
That is a very common question.
The biological reasons are profound. We have to look at how the human body wakes up. There is a biological process called the cortisol awakening response.
Cortisol.
Yes, cortisol is the hormone responsible for fear and stress. It is the chemical that makes your heart race when you are frightened. In order to wake you up from deep sleep, your body naturally spikes your cortisol levels.
It is like an internal alarm clock that jolts you awake.
Precisely. This means you literally wake up biologically primed for stress.
That makes perfect sense. So we wake up with a high level of the stress hormone already in our bloodstream.
We do.
By engaging in intense physical exercise and sweating from 5 to 5:20 in the morning, you are actively managing that hormone. When you sweat, your body clears out the cortisol.
We flush it out.
Yes, you are literally washing the fear and stress out of your biological system before the day even truly begins. You are taking control of your chemistry instead of letting your chemistry control your mood.
Exactly. And the benefits of this intense movement do not stop with removing stress. Sweating also triggers the release of a very important protein called BDNF.
BDNF, let us explain what that stands for.
It stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. If we want to visualize what BDNF is doing, we can think of it as premium fertilizer for your brain.
Fertilizer for the brain.
Yes. Think about a garden. When you put fertilizer on soil, plants grow faster, stronger, and healthier. When your brain releases BDNF, it repairs damaged brain cells. It also helps your brain create new neural connections.
So it is actually building the brain up.
It is. This means that by exercising and sweating at 5 in the morning, you are biologically upgrading your brain. You are making yourself think faster, process information more clearly, and solve problems more effectively for the rest of the day.
So by 5:20 in the morning, you have removed the stress hormone, you have fertilized your brain with BDNF, and you are fully awake. That brings us to the second pocket of the victory hour.
The second pocket.
This pocket lasts from 5:20 in the morning to 5:40 in the morning. The focus of this pocket is the word reflect.
Reflect.
After you have moved your body and energized your biological system, you need to find total silence and inner peace. The world is still perfectly quiet, the sun is likely still down, and now your mind is crystal clear from the exercise. This is the time to sit quietly and process your thoughts.
During this 20-minute reflection period, the book suggests several excellent practical activities. One of the best and most effective activities is journaling.
Journaling, just writing things down.
Yes, taking a physical pen and paper and writing down your thoughts is a powerful way to organize your mind. Think of your mind like a messy desk.
A messy desk.
Throughout the day, people throw papers onto your desk. Worries, tasks, anxieties, ideas. If you do not organize them, the desk becomes overwhelming. Journaling is the act of organizing the desk.
That is a beautiful way to think about it.
You can write down your clear goals for the day. You can write down any specific worries you have, effectively moving them out of your mind and onto the paper so they no longer distract you.
Writing things down on paper truly does remove their power over you. It clears the mental space.
It really does.
Another vital practice during this reflection period is writing down the things you are grateful for. Gratitude is a powerful tool for changing your perspective.
It shifts your focus completely.
When you sit in the quiet of the morning and physically write down 3 or 4 things you appreciate, perhaps your health, your family, or simply a warm cup of coffee, you completely remove negative energy.
You organize your mind and set a positive, resilient foundation before the busy, demanding day begins. You are building emotional armor.
Emotional armor. I love that term.
Once you have built that emotional armor, you are ready for the final pocket of the victory hour.
Which brings us to 5:40 in the morning.
Yes, this is from 5:40 in the morning to 6 in the morning. The focus of these last 20 minutes is the word learn.
Learn.
This is your dedicated time for mental growth. You have prepared your body by moving, you have calmed and organized your mind by reflecting, and now you must feed your intellect.
Feed the intellect. How do we do that?
You can use this time to read a chapter of an educational book. You can listen to an informative podcast that teaches you a new skill. You can study a new subject that will help you advance in your career.
Some people might think that 20 minutes of learning a day is not very much time. They might ask, what can I possibly learn in just 20 minutes?
It does sound like a small amount.
But the book mentions a very famous concept by a psychologist named Anders Ericsson. It is known as the 10,000-hour rule.
The 10,000-hour rule.
This rule suggests that to achieve true mastery and become a world-class expert in any field, a person must practice deeply for 10,000 hours. If you dedicate these 20 minutes every single morning to learning and studying your craft with absolute focus, that time compounds.
Compounding is the secret to all massive success. It adds up day after day, week after week, year after year.
It is like saving money. It grows.
Exactly. 20 minutes a day is over 120 hours of pure, uninterrupted learning every single year. Over time, those daily 20 minutes of studying while the rest of the world is sleeping will transform you into an absolute expert in your field.
You will acquire knowledge that your competitors simply do not have because they are spending their mornings sleeping or rushing.
Right. They are hitting the snooze button while you are learning.
It is very important to note that the book offers customization for this routine. The 20-20-20 rule is a starting framework. It is a highly recommended structure, but it's not a rigid law that cannot be bent.
You can adjust it to fit your life.
As a listener, you can adjust the specific times based on your personal needs and life circumstances. For example, if you feel you need more physical energy to manage a physically demanding job, you might choose to do 30 minutes of exercise and then 10 minutes of journaling, followed by 20 minutes of learning.
That makes perfect sense.
Or if you are studying for an important exam, you might exercise for 15 minutes, reflect for 5, and use 40 minutes for intense learning. The exact minutes can change, but the core structure of moving, reflecting, and learning should always remain the foundation of your Victory Hour.
The foundation remains the same.
Let us take a brief moment to summarize what we have explored so far. We have discussed the specific biological advantages of transient hypofrontality.
The quiet brain.
We have learned how the 20-20-20 formula utilizes the Victory Hour. By moving, reflecting, and learning, we lower our stress, we increase our brain power with BDNF, and we prepare ourselves emotionally and intellectually to win the day.
It's a complete system.
Now, we are going to tease what is coming next. In the next section, we will reveal the hidden secret behind waking up early. This is the part most people fail to understand. The perfect morning actually begins the night before.
The night before is crucial.
We will also uncover the 4 major areas that successful people focus on to build exceptional lives.
Before we move to that incredibly important next section, we want to gently remind you to download the worksheet in the description box.
Yes, the worksheet is available now.
It is specifically designed to help you practice your English vocabulary from the complex biological and psychological concepts we just discussed. We also ask you to comment below on which part of the 20-20-20 routine you think would be most helpful or most challenging for you.
We would really like to know.
Is it the intense moving, the quiet reflecting, or the focused learning? Please comment and let us know your thoughts.
Yes, and please remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share this episode with a friend or colleague who wants to be more productive and peaceful.
Sharing helps us grow.
We also deeply value your feedback and suggestions. We want to ensure this show is consistently helping you learn effectively, so please tell us in the comments how we can make these discussions even better and more useful for you.
Your feedback is so important to us.
Now, let us explore the true foundation of early rising. We have talked extensively about what to do at 5 in the morning, but our expert will now explain a very important truth that changes everything. The absolute biggest challenge to joining the 5 a.m. club isn't actually the act of waking up.
That is exactly right, and it is a point that causes so much frustration for people. The most difficult part of this entire system is not opening your eyes when the alarm goes off at 5 in the morning.
What is the most difficult part then?
The most difficult part is having the discipline to go to sleep the night before.
Going to sleep.
Yes. If you want to wake up at 5 in the morning naturally, with high energy and a clear mind, You must get sufficient rest. You cannot sleep for 4 hours and expect the victory hour to work. The book states you need around 6 to 8 hours of high-quality sleep.
6 to 8 hours.
To achieve this, the author introduces a very strict guideline, the 9:30 p.m. rule. This means you should aim to be completely asleep by 9:30 at night.
The 9:30 p.m. rule.
Yeah.
To understand why this is so incredibly important, we must slowly and clearly explain the concept of the circadian rhythm.
The circadian rhythm.
The circadian rhythm is your body's internal biological clock that tells your body when it is time to be awake, alert, and active, and when it is time to wind down, rest, and repair.
It is built into us.
This internal clock is heavily influenced by the environment, specifically by light and darkness. When you align your daily habits with this natural internal clock, falling asleep and waking up become effortless.
But in our modern world, we completely disrupt this internal clock. We confuse it.
We definitely do.
To help your circadian rhythm function perfectly, you need to practice excellent sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene refers to the specific habits, routines, and environmental setups that help you get a deep, restorative night of rest.
What is the most important part of sleep hygiene?
The absolute most critical practice of sleep hygiene is removing all electronic devices at least 30 minutes, or ideally an hour, before bed. Mobile phones, tablets, laptops, and televisions emit a specific type of light called blue light.
Blue light is highly problematic at night. Let us explain why.
Please do.
In nature, the only time human beings are exposed to bright blue light is during the middle of the day from the sun. So when you stare at your mobile phone at 9 at night, the bright blue light enters your eyes and completely tricks your brain.
It tricks the brain into thinking it is noon.
Exactly. Your brain thinks the sun is still shining. It thinks it is still daytime. Because it thinks it is daytime, it actively stops your body from producing melatonin, which is the primary hormone needed to make you feel sleepy. You are fighting your own biology.
That is exactly why you can feel exhausted, but the moment you get into bed and look at your phone, you suddenly feel awake and cannot fall asleep.
You have chemically told your brain to stay awake.
You have. Beyond removing electronics, the book also emphasizes the physical environment of your bedroom. You must keep your bedroom for rest only. Your bedroom should be a peaceful sanctuary dedicated strictly to sleep.
This means being very disciplined about your habits in that room. You should not be eating meals in your bed.
No food in bed.
You should not be watching exciting television shows in your bed. And you should absolutely not be doing stressful work or answering emails in your bed.
The human brain works heavily on association.
It does. When you do stressful or highly active things in your bedroom, your brain begins to associate the physical space of that room with stress and activity rather than rest.
The room itself becomes a trigger for stress.
Yes, when you walk into the room, your brain prepares to work, not to sleep.
You should also make sure your bedroom environment supports your body's natural sleep processes. This means keeping the room slightly cool in temperature.
A cool room is very important.
As your body prepares for deep sleep, its core temperature naturally drops. A cool room assists this process, while a hot room fights it. You must also ensure you have a comfortable bed and a completely dark room. Physical comfort and darkness are essential for deep, uninterrupted sleep.
Finally, there is a very powerful mental practice you should perform before sleeping. You should plan the next day before you close your eyes.
Planning the next day.
Take a small piece of paper and write down what you intend to do tomorrow, especially your plan for the victory hour. This gives your subconscious mind a clear target.
A clear target reduces anxiety.
Exactly. When you go to sleep anxious about what you have to do tomorrow, your sleep is restless. But when your mind knows exactly what it needs to achieve the next day, waking up early feels purposeful, intentional, and much easier.
Changing your sleep schedule, giving up late-night television, and waking up at 5 in the morning is a massive shift in behavior. It is the process of building a completely new habit.
Building habits is hard.
It is. The book uses a wonderful, vivid analogy to explain the habit protocol. It compares the process of building a new habit to the construction of the Taj Mahal.
The Taj Mahal in India.
Yes, it is a magnificent, massive, deeply complex structure. It is considered one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. But it did not appear overnight. It took 20 years of consistent, daily, painstaking effort to build.
20 years.
Thousands of workers laying one brick at a time, day after day, regardless of the weather. Your personal habits are exactly the same.
I love that analogy because it sets realistic expectations. People often try a new routine for 3 days, fail on the 4th day, and completely give up, saying it does not work.
3 days is not enough to build the Taj Mahal.
No, it is not. The author breaks down the specific stages of habit building to help us understand this journey. In the very beginning, starting a new habit like waking up at 5 in the morning requires a massive amount of willpower.
A huge amount.
It is difficult, it feels highly uncomfortable, your body will resist it, your mind will invent brilliant excuses for why you should stay in bed. This first stage is where most people quit.
But you must push through that uncomfortable first stage. After the initial phase of struggle, you enter the second stage where you must rely on strict consistency.
Consistency over willpower.
Yes, you no longer need as much explosive willpower, but you must be perfectly consistent. You must execute the habit every single day, even when you do not feel like it, even when it is raining, even when you're slightly tired.
You just keep laying the bricks.
Eventually, through pure, unbroken consistency, your brain literally rewires its neural pathways. You finally reach the third stage, which the author calls the stage of automation.
The stage of automation is the ultimate goal. At the automation stage, waking up at 5 in the morning requires zero effort. It requires zero willpower. You do not debate with yourself. You do not negotiate.
It just happens.
Your eyes simply open and you begin your day. It becomes a deeply ingrained part of who you are, as natural and automatic as breathing or brushing your teeth. But you can only reach the beauty of automation if you survive the difficult construction phase of the habit.
That is so true.
Let us now move from the specific mechanics of the morning routine itself to the broader, overarching mindset required for lasting success in life.
The bigger picture.
The early morning routine gives you the energy, but you need a philosophy to guide that energy. The book outlines a framework called the 4 focuses of history makers.
The 4 focuses.
These are the 4 specific, high-level areas that the most successful and impactful people in history have prioritized in their lives. The first focus is a concept called capitalization.
Capitalization is an incredibly important concept to grasp. It is the process of identifying, developing, and fully utilizing the natural gifts and talents you were born with.
Developing your gifts.
Many people look at highly successful individuals, great athletes, brilliant artists, successful business leaders, and they believe a myth. They believe that these successful individuals are just naturally luckier, or that they were born with so much raw talent that success was easy for them.
But the book strongly stresses that this is an illusion. Hard work, relentless discipline, and the capitalization of your skills matter so much more than raw talent.
Hard work beats talent.
It absolutely does not matter what incredible natural gifts you have if you do not capitalize on them by working hard to develop them every single day.
Right.
A person with average talent who works tirelessly to improve will always eventually defeat a person with massive natural talent who is lazy and undisciplined.
Exactly. Capitalization means taking whatever small spark of potential you have and blowing on it every single day until it becomes a massive fire.
The second focus of history makers is eliminating distractions.
We must deeply revisit the dangers of modern technology here because it is the greatest threat to capitalization.
It is everywhere.
In our current world, distractions are everywhere, constantly fighting for our attention. Notifications, text messages, breaking news alerts, social media updates, all of these things are engineered by brilliant designers to steal your cognitive bandwidth.
If you want to achieve truly great things, you must become militant about your attention. You must create a life that is deliberately focused on a few highly important projects, rather than spreading yourself thin over hundreds of unimportant, trivial tasks.
You have to protect your focus.
You must protect your attention fiercely. Saying yes to a distraction always means saying no to your actual goals.
That intense focus leads us directly to the third focus, which the author beautifully calls personal mastery, or the 4 interior empires.
The 4 interior empires, that sounds profound.
The core idea here is that external success, like wealth, status, recognition, means absolutely nothing if your internal world is broken. To be truly successful and, more importantly, to be peaceful, you must develop 4 internal areas of yourself.
What is the first empire?
The first empire is your mindset. This refers to your psychology, your beliefs, and your internal self-talk. It is the specific way you think about yourself and the world around you. If your mindset is negative and defeated, your life will reflect that.
The second interior empire is your heart set. This refers strictly to your emotional well-being.
Heart set.
The book shares a very deep and important concept. Unexpressed emotions never die.
They never die.
They are essentially buried alive inside of you, and because they are buried alive, they eventually come out later in very ugly, destructive ways.
That is a very powerful image. Buried alive.
If you hold on to anger, resentment, or sadness, it poisons your daily life. You must actively work to clear your emotional blockages, perhaps through the journaling we discussed earlier, to maintain a clean, healthy heart set.
The third interior empire is your health set. This is your physical fitness, your energy levels, and your overall longevity.
Taking care of the physical body.
The reality is very simple. You cannot achieve your massive goals, and you cannot enjoy the fruits of your labor if you are constantly exhausted, sick, or physically weak. Taking care of your physical body through intense exercise, proper nutrition, and deep rest is not a luxury. It is a fundamental requirement for a successful life.
The fourth and final interior empire is your soul set. It is important to define this carefully. Soul set is strictly about your inner character, your personal integrity, and the lasting legacy you want to leave behind.
It is about legacy and character.
Yes, it is about who you truly are when the busy world is entirely stripped away, when you are completely alone in silence. Are you honest? Are you kind? Are you living in alignment with your core principles?
Developing your soul set means taking time to connect with your truest, quietest self.
Ensuring that your character remains strong, peaceful, and uncorrupted by the chaotic world.
Once you are actively working on those four interior empires, you must apply the fourth focus of history makers, which is called day stacking.
Day stacking.
Day stacking is a beautifully simple but profound concept. It is the idea of making each day just slightly better than the previous one. Most people fail because they try to change their entire life in 24 hours.
They want it all immediately.
You want to lose 20 pounds, write a book, and start a business all in one weekend.
When they inevitably fail at doing everything at once, they get discouraged and quit. Day stacking removes that pressure. You do not need to make massive dramatic changes all at once. You just need to improve by one small, tiny step every single day.
Just a tiny step.
If you improve by just 1% every day, those small improvements compound. Consistency over time creates massive, undeniable success. It is not about short, exhausting bursts of motivation. It is about steady, daily, unstoppable progress.
You are simply stacking one good productive day on top of another good productive day until you have built a masterpiece of a life.
We have now arrived at the final major section of the book, and this is where the philosophy turns into highly actionable daily practice. The author provides 10 tactics for lifelong genius.
10 practical tools.
These are 10 highly practical, specific tools that you can use to protect the momentum and the clarity you gain from your early morning victory hour. We're going to elaborate extensively on each of these 10 tactics, step by step, so you know exactly how to use them.
The first tactic is creating what the author calls a tight bubble of focus. This means intentionally creating a physical environment to work in that is completely 100% free of distractions.
We often underestimate how much our physical space influences our mental state.
We do.
Yeah.
You must design a workspace where you simply cannot be interrupted.
Let us think about what a tight bubble of focus actually looks like in practice. It might mean literally turning off your mobile phone completely, not just putting it on silent.
Completely off.
It means closing the physical door to your office so people know not to enter. It means clearing away any visual clutter from your desk, putting away old coffee cups, unnecessary papers, and anything that is not directly related to the task at hand.
Your physical environment dictates your behavior.
If your environment is chaotic and full of distractions, your mind will be chaotic and distracted. If your environment is a clean, silent, tight bubble of focus, your work will be exceptional and deep.
Tactic number 2 is an extremely powerful scheduling technique known as the 90-91 rule.
The 90-91 rule.
The instructions are very precise. For the next 90 days, you must dedicate the first 90 minutes of your workday to your single most important project. The number 1 represents that single massive project.
During these specific 90 minutes, you do absolutely nothing else.
Nothing else. You do not check your email, you do not answer messages, you do not chat with your colleagues about the weekend.
I really love the idea of the 90-91 rule because it forces you to use your best energy on your most important work. But practically speaking, I have to ask, if someone works in a busy office or if they have a manager expecting immediate email replies, how do they actually implement that without getting in trouble? It is hard to ignore the world for 90 minutes.
That is a very valid concern and a common obstacle. The key to implementing this tactic in a real-world environment is proactive communication.
Communication is key.
You must have a conversation with your manager or your team beforehand. You can gently explain that to produce the highest quality work for the company, you will be in a focused work block for the first 90 minutes of the morning. and that you will be fully available to answer all emails and assist with urgent matters immediately after that block.
Setting boundaries.
Most good managers will highly respect someone who is taking the initiative to focus deeply on important projects. You pour all of your fresh early morning energy, that cognitive bandwidth we discussed, into the one project that will make the absolute biggest difference in your career.
Once that intense 90-minute block is finished, tactic number 3 shows you how to manage the rest of your day. It's called the 60-10 method.
The 60-10 method.
After your massive morning task is done, you should structure the remaining hours of your workday using this rhythm. You work intensely with total unbroken focus for exactly 60 minutes. When those 60 minutes are finished, you must force yourself to stop and take a full 10-minute break.
This 10-minute break is absolutely essential, and it must be a real break. Checking your email does not count as a break. Scrolling through social media does not count as a break.
You must step completely away from your desk.
You need to rest your eyes by looking at something far away, perhaps looking out a window. You might stretch your body or drink a glass of water. You let your brain completely recover from the intense focus.
This continuous rhythm of intense sprinting work followed by complete total rest prevents afternoon exhaustion. It keeps your cognitive bandwidth remarkably high all day long.
Tactic number 4 is called the Daily 5.
The Daily 5.
This is a very simple, highly effective psychological habit. Every single morning, perhaps during the reflection pocket of your victory hour, write down 5 small, highly achievable goals for that specific day.
5 achievable goals.
These should not be massive, life-changing goals. They should be specific tasks you can realistically complete before you go to sleep.
The power of the Daily 5 is in the execution. As you finish each of these 5 tasks throughout the day, physically cross it off your written list with a pen. Do not just delete it on a screen. Physically cross it out.
The physical act of crossing it out is important.
The physical act of crossing off completed goals sends a signal to your brain. It gives your brain a small, satisfying release of dopamine.
There is that dopamine again.
This constant cycle of setting a small goal, achieving it, and crossing it off keeps you highly motivated and gives you a profound, stabilizing sense of accomplishment at the end of every single day.
Tactic number 5 is what the author calls the second wind workout.
The second wind workout.
Let us picture the end of a long workday. You come home, you feel physically and mentally tired, and your immediate instinct might be to simply collapse onto the sofa and do nothing for the rest of the evening.
That is what most people do.
But the book recommends doing the exact opposite. It recommends a second, lighter workout.
This does not mean going to the gym for heavy weightlifting. This could simply be a gentle 20-minute evening walk outside in the fresh air.
It could be a light jog or an easy bicycle ride. This physical activity serves a very specific purpose. It refreshes your stagnant energy at the end of the day.
More importantly, it acts as a mental transition. It helps you mentally transition away from the stress and demands of your work life and prepares you for the relaxation and connection of your personal evening time.
It literally gives you a second wind of fresh energy for your personal life.
Tactic number 6 is an incredibly important reminder for ambitious people. Schedule 2 enjoyable activities a week.
2 enjoyable activities.
Many hardworking, driven people become so obsessed with productivity, goals, and efficiency that they completely forget to actually experience joy. The book insists that this is a dangerous path that leads to burnout. You must strictly and proactively schedule 2 activities every single week whose only purpose is joy and relaxation.
You cannot just wait for joy to happen. You must put it on your calendar, just like an important business meeting.
This enjoyable activity could be getting a massage to relax your tense muscles. It could be having a nice, quiet, unhurried coffee with a very good friend you haven't seen in a while.
It could be going for a long walk in nature or enjoying a special, peaceful lunch by yourself. You must proactively plan for joy in your schedule, or the endless demands of work will completely consume your life.
Tactic number 7 is a brilliant way to reclaim lost time. It is called Traffic University.
Traffic University.
If you commute to work, if you spend 30 minutes driving in your car, or an hour riding a busy train every single morning and evening, you have a massive hidden opportunity.
Most people spend this time listening to mindless radio advertisements, complaining about the traffic, or engaging in idle, negative chatting.
The book suggests you completely transform this lost time. Instead of being frustrated by the commute, use this time productively. Listen to high-quality audiobooks.
Listen to deeply educational podcasts, exactly like the one you are listening to right now.
If you commute for an hour a day, that is hundreds of hours a year of free education. Transform your car or your train seat into a moving university. Constantly feed your mind with new information, valuable ideas, and inspiring stories while everyone else is just staring out the window.
Tactic number 8 is essential as you become more successful. Building the dream team.
The dream team.
You simply cannot do everything yourself. There is a limit to your time and your energy. To be truly successful and to scale your impact, you need to find, build, or create a capable team around you.
This requires a shift in mindset. You must learn to delegate. You must identify the tasks that do not require your specific, unique attention or your highest skills, and you must hand those tasks over to someone else.
By delegating routine administrative work, scheduling, or basic tasks to others, you dramatically free up your valuable time.
This allows you to focus strictly on what you do best. You protect your cognitive bandwidth so you can focus only on the highly important, complex tasks that only you can do.
Tactic number 9 is the weekly design system. This tactic is about taking control of your future.
The weekly design system.
Do not just let the week happen to you. You must design it yourself. If you do not plan your week, other people will plan it for you with their demands. The author strongly recommends using a quiet hour on Sunday to plan and outline your entire upcoming week.
You sit down with a blank calendar and you proactively schedule everything that is important. You write in exactly when you will do your early morning workouts.
You schedule your 90-minute focused work blocks so no one can book meetings during those times. You even schedule your periods of rest and your 2 enjoyable activities.
When Monday morning begins, you are not confused or reacting to emergencies. You already have a perfect logical map to follow, which completely removes all the anxiety, confusion, and indecision from your week.
And finally, tactic number 10 brings us full circle. It is daily learning.
Daily learning.
We discussed the concept of learning during the victory hour, but this tactic expands on that principle. The book argues that you should dedicate at least 60 minutes a day total to studying and keeping your brain sharp.
The world is constantly changing, and knowledge becomes outdated very quickly. The absolute best way to keep your mind young, flexible, and highly functional is to challenge it every single day.
You must constantly push yourself to understand something completely new, read something difficult, or learn a new skill. A mind that stops learning begins to decline, but a mind that learns daily remains sharp, innovative, and deeply engaged with the world.
We have covered so much valuable, life-changing ground today. Let us gently recap the long and fascinating journey of this episode.
It has been quite a journey.
We started by extensively understanding the unique, quiet time the brain experiences at 5 in the morning, exploring the science of transient hypofrontality. We learned exactly how to master the 20-20-20 victory hour by engaging in intense moving to clear cortisol, quiet reflecting to build emotional armor, and focused learning to compound our knowledge.
The victory hour is the foundation.
We discussed the absolute necessity of prioritizing sleep, understanding our circadian rhythm, and practicing good sleep hygiene the night before. Finally, we thoroughly examined the overarching 4 focuses for a successful life, and we broke down the 10 tactics for lifelong genius to protect our focus throughout the day.
It truly is a comprehensive, brilliant system for completely upgrading every aspect of your life. As we conclude, I want to leave you with one final, deeply provocative thought to consider in your own quiet time.
Please share it.
If you successfully apply this 5 in the morning routine, you are not just changing your morning. You'll gain an extra 365 hours a year of pure, uninterrupted, highly focused time.
365 extra hours.
Think extensively about that massive number for a moment. 365 extra hours. What magnificent, life-changing project. What incredible new skill or what lasting, beautiful legacy could you build with that much completely focused, silent time? The possibilities for your life are truly limitless if you simply take control of your morning.
That is a wonderful, inspiring thought to end on, and it perfectly captures the value of this book. Before we finally say goodbye today, we want to gently remind you one last time to download the worksheet from the description box.
Yes, the worksheet is a great tool.
It is a great free way to test your English comprehension based on everything we discussed today. We also kindly ask you to leave a comment below sharing your honest thoughts on today's extensive discussion.
Do you plan to join the 5 a.m. club? Which of the 10 tactics do you think will be the hardest to implement? We would genuinely love to read your answers and engage with your thoughts.
Please gently encourage yourself to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, and like and share this episode with anyone you know. It truly helps others discover the show, improve their English, and hopefully It drastically improves their mornings and their lives as well.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us today and for learning alongside us. We warmly wish you a very productive, deeply peaceful, and absolutely excellent week ahead. Goodbye.